So I would love to tell you the moment when I understood why happiness matters. See if I can get through this without crying. So back in the day, my young aspect was animal behaviour specialist, and had the role to, I used to see clients with problem dogs in their homes as a part of what I was doing. And on this one occasion, I was phoned by this lady who promised me the craziest dog I'd ever seen. And so I drove out to the place and went there. And I got there, and in the kitchen extension of this house, there was this cage. And in the cage was a German Shepherd dog, muzzled on its side with its legs tied up in chains. And my aspect just couldn't believe her eyes. "What is this?" she cried in complete astonishment. And the woman sighed and said that the dog hadn't been so bad. It had been quite nervous and used to sometimes bark at other dogs when taking it out for a walk. And then she went to a professional dog trainer, and then to another, and the professional dog trainer told them that the dog was dominant and it needed to be dominated properly, and then the problems would go away. But the problems didn't go away. The dog got worse. So they went to another trainer and they tightened the screw even more, and the behavior got even worse. And so they went to another dog trainer and they tightened the screw even more. And this poor animal that was in that cage, in a muzzle and with its paws tied together front and back, oh my God, with 2 chains attached to the side so that they could drag it out like that to try and get it out into the garden for defecation, and it wouldn't. That was the end result of going from one dog trainer to another, and it got worse and worse and worse, and this was the end result of this. And I just looked at the woman and I looked at the dog, and I had this moment and I just cried out, "Oh my God, he must be so unhappy." And that was the moment. The woman looked at me and just her eyes just went big and wide, and she gulped, and then she tears started pouring down her face. Just pouring down her face. And I was crying as well, so we were standing there crying our eyes out over what had happened here with the best of intentions. There was no cruelty involved here. Everybody was trying the best and doing their best. And this terrible thing was the result of that. And that was also the moment when I threw all the dominance talk of hierarchies and all this stuff out of the window. That was the moment of enlightenment. I threw it all out of the window. And instead, and once we'd recovered and made a cup of tea, I started to talk with this woman, and we discussed, like 2 normal human beings would, what we could do to make this dog happier. Not to break dominance-related aggression, over hysteria, sensitivity, blah words. Blah words. To not to do this anymore, and just ask that central question: what can we do to make this dog happier? Happiness matters. Yeah, so we just kept asking that question and answering that question. Of course, get it out of the cage. Of course, take the muzzle off. Let it run around in the backyard like a lunatic for as long as it needs. be friendly to it, give it nice food, pay attention to it, love it. And so that was that was a prescription, what you need to do to make this dog happier. And ask that question, answer that question. We got the husband on board as well soon enough because he could see that it was working. And last I heard, the dog was still a bit nervous, but other than that, it was completely normal again. And that, happiness matters, folks. That's when I understood that. And I think what's happened here is that I always thought because I understand it, and I think that everybody else understands it. But that's not necessarily the case.